Welcome back, Liberty lovers. The White House just dropped another video. It was a conference with the Olympic Committee, and it's going to be in Los Angeles 2028. And they actually called Trump when he was president-elect, and basically because the prior administration wouldn't even talk to him. There was no communication, and from the conference that they posted, you could see the overwhelming support to the president. I mean, everybody on the board thanked him. There was a couple members of Congress, McCarthy, Lindsey Graham. They were there. They also thanked him, of course. But in order to get the Olympics in America, you obviously need support from your president. And it is a shame that the prior administration, I mean, everyone made it a point to say the prior administration wouldn't even talk to him, wouldn't return a phone call, and I find that sad. I mean, we're looking at an organization, oldest time, back to the Roman days, right? And it's a world event, and in theory, brings the people of the world closer together. And so I just find it a shame that the leader of the free world wouldn't even return a phone call. It kind of blows my mind. But Bill Ayers is in the White House the day he was elected. I mean, come on now. But anyways, back to this video the White House dropped. They were starving for love, Trump said. I mean, you could just tell that the committee was upset, like I said, for not getting a call, and Trump said they were starving for love, so that was pretty cool. But Sarah Herschel is the CEO of the Olympic and the Paralympics, and she was there. Also, let's see, this will be the third time that the Olympics will be held in Los Angeles, and also that the United States has more medals than any other nation, and approximately 112,000 jobs will be created because of this because of the Olympics coming to Los Angeles in 2028. At least $7 billion will be put into workers' pockets. So $7 billion will be generated for the American people. Paychecks. That's amazing. Any president should want their citizens to have a few extra bucks or an extra job, and it's at least worth picking up a phone. And then $18 billion overall added to the economy, which is really kick-ass. I know it's nothing to Jeff Bezos, but, probably to you and me that, whoa! Anyways, later on this year is obviously in Tokyo, and then in Paris 2024, and, let's see, what else I got on my notes? It was real short. It wasn't too much. The committee administrator, Wolf, he quoted a line from the State of the Union, "America is blazing bright," and then he added, "America will be blazing even brighter again in 2028, talking about the torch being in Los Angeles. I thought that was pretty cool. Once again, he thanks the president, and then Casey Wasserman, and definitely couldn't happen without President Trump, and the world will know why America has really come back. I thought that was really cool. And then Kevin McCarthy gave a statement, and Trump says that Kevin McCarthy will be the next Speaker of the House. He said the odds are 35 to 40%, but he believes it's 80 to 90%. So we'll see how the media eats that up, because that would obviously mean that Nancy Pelosi's getting the boot, which she most definitely should. And everyone had overwhelming support. Like, I wrote that several times. So, I mean, you can see everybody was pleased to be there, and that the president was there with him. So now a few questions from the press at the end was talking about the conditions in California, where we know, like, the homeless population is out of control, the drug use is out of control, trash. Plenty of news segments have been done on, just like feces everywhere, and which is really sad. And I believe it is definitely a mental health issue. But, with the private prison industry being like a big business and actually traded on the stock market, we need to really kind of look at that, reevaluate that situation, and free up some of the people in jail, especially with like minor, non-aggressive offenses, misdemeanors, and some of those people will even be the mentally disabled or mentally ill, and I think a hospital would be more. I mean, it's still a taxpayer paying for it, obviously, but even in an environment like jail, or prison, as the mentally impaired or don't have it the best, so couldn't actually create worse problems. So Trump said whether like it or not, they're gonna have to do something about it. Being that the government is gonna have to do something. That they're definitely gonna have to step in, take care of this homeless issues. With the beaches. He said, a decade ago, these were some of the most beautiful cities in America: San Diego, San Francisco, Los Angeles, and now it's just one of the most crime-ridden areas. One of the most just disgusting, trash, feces, homeless. They got the highest population of homeless, and these people. These are the people that are worried about straws. Banning straws and finding the waitress $100, not the owner of the establishment for having the straw, but the common worker like you and me, finding them $100 for giving a straw if the person didn't ask for one. So they're worried about pollution and plastic, which no, I totally get. You got a section in India that's just I think like the size of the state of Texas of just like trash. With the currents and the water, it all ends up in this one area in the Indian Ocean, and like I said, it's the size of trash. So I definitely understand plastics in the ocean, wildlife, all that stuff. Definitely get it. But to not, to worry about straws as much as they do and not really care about needles, every syringe is plastic. And, speaking on this plastic thing, you would think about K-cups, all the plastic K-cups around the world, that's got to be just as bad as straws, I would think. I mean, you go to a doctor's office, you go to a store, you go anywhere, and they got complimentary coffee, most of the time K-cups. Diapers. The majority of, and I have children, the majority of the landfills is diapers. And the time it takes for those to, bio-disintegrate is 7-10 years. So I just think that I understand the concept, and I understand why they're worried about these things, but we need to put some of that energy to there's just so many more things, and they just want to worry about like one simple minute to act like they're actually concerned when really they don't give a shit, and they're just finding a way to create another avenue to get taxes or fine people. I mean, that's apparent and obvious when you're finding a waitress who works minimum wage, less than minimum wage. We're talking $2 an hour and only purely have to survive on tips. We're finding them $100 for giving a customer a straw when they didn't ask for it in California. Also that the crime is dangerous. It's a sanctuary city. People aren't even getting charged, or maybe if they get picked up, they're getting released for low-level crimes such as smash and grabs in vehicles, robbing purses, things like this. They've really made it known to criminals that you can pretty much do whatever you want and you're going home. Just like in New York City, there's been several instances. I think it was Citizen Man that had brought this up, where a dude robbed a bank, and then because New York got rid of the bail system, left on bail, robbed another bank, left on bail, and did it again. And the whole reason why this guy didn't use a gun, he was just leaving a note saying, you're getting robbed. And so it was a an unaggravated offense. It wasn't aggravated. So I just find that kind of crazy. These ideas sound real good, but I mean, like, the second you realize it's not what you had in mind, or when they're implemented, it doesn't go the way you thought they were going. They're actually going in the adverse way. I would sit down and redo that law. I mean, I give you credit, I guess, for attempting to try, but I think it's just causing more mayhem than good. And let's see, the Olympic Committee really wanted LA, but just couldn't get support from the previous administration. One time Trump did make a joke. He was like, now remember me when it comes to 2028, because he wants a seat. And Casey Wasserman at the end said, we'll definitely remember you. So I thought that was pretty cool. And I do think, like, my other favorite was when Wolf part about this was when Wolf actually referred to the State of the Union address and kind of add a little bit to it. I thought that was really cool. Oh, and it showed a picture. It had a picture on the last page of the pamphlet of Trump holding the torch. You know, years ago, I believe in New York, or it might have even been for the Atlanta one. I don't think they really elaborated on that, but they did talk about the picture. You could see Trump smiling and ask the CEO, Sarah Herschel, what part of the pamphlet, of where it was at in the pamphlet. So it was the back page. It was pretty cool. Yeah. So go Team USA. You know, another perfect example of why America is the best and we kick ass. We got the most medals there is in the world. So, you know, oot for that. But everybody have a good night. I am still vacuum sealing these damn bags, man. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 out of 24. We got, you know, I realized this is something, you know, this is the first time I really had to do this. But like I said, these are Mylar bags. 2 videos prior kind of go in a little more depth than this. But these are Mylar bags. So these are a little bit thicker, and these are better protection from weevils, especially when you're wanting to vacuum seal for long term. And you know, I just realized that I had to do it several times. If you just do it once and take it out of the food saver, it doesn't really seal. So when you pick it up, it might come undone. So I've been doing it 3 times per line, and I've been doing 2 lines on each just to have a backup seal. But you know, this is really cool. Like I said, this is really the first time I've used these Mylar bags. I think what I'm going to go ahead and do is do several bags into like this, because I can vacuum seal that like really tight and good. And I'll just put, you know, a bigger oxygen absorber packet in that as well, in case these do actually not seal all the way. I will have nothing to worry about. But if you are planning on to use Mylar bags with a vacuum sealer and seal them up, just know from what I've learned, you're going to have to do it once or twice, probably 3 times really, more than once. But everybody have a wonderful night. Thanks for stopping by, and peace.